Ryan?
Toby.
Toby, pleasure
Yeah,
to meet you, man.
nice to
So
meet
tell
you.
me about your journey and tell us about yourself. Where can everybody find
Sure.
you, and how'd you get into NFTs?
Actually not very big on social, so you can find me on LinkedIn. My name's Tobias Batton. The name of the company is Populas, and you can find us at xpopulus.com. It's a game publishing company, which I think is probably a little bit new for crypto in general. I've been involved in crypto since, I guess, about 2013, but I've been a media entrepreneur since 2005.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of old school.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right on.
First company was called Liberated Films, independent film publishing company. That was acquired by Ren Media Group in, 2007. And then I did Resistor Productions, and we made Clan Wars. And that was acquired, 2009. And then after that, I ran Signal Zero, which was a publishing platform for mobile games. And we did hundreds of millions of installs for like Supercell, a bunch of other companies. Yep. And that takes us to today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice, man. That sounds like a big journey.
Cool. Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah. So what up? So what got you actually into the NFT? Like, what was your first NFT you bought?
Oh, the first one I bought was just like this little. It was like nothing. I can't even remember what it was, but I got into Cool Cats.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
we have a couple of Cool Cats, and
Yep.
that's super exciting because it's done well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Now, where are your plans for the future?
So Populus, we actually have a project called Lamo.
Yep.
It's a metaverse game, right? Which is really exciting.
Yeah.
We did our first drop 2 weeks ago, sold out in a day. 1,500 Lamos went for sale, and those are playable characters inside of the video game.
No way.
Yeah. So you can actually, the game's not ready yet. The game's going to be ready next year, but you can actually get a playable character of a Lamo today. It looks kind of similar to like a Funko Pop toy. Do you know what that is?
No, I don't.
Okay, so just like really big chibi style heads.
Okay.
And smaller bodies.
Yep.
Really
Yeah.
cute characters.
Yep.
You can see them if you go to xpopulus.com. They're all
Okay.
all over our marketplace.
Yeah, I'll have that playing across the screen when you're talking.
Cool. Yeah.
Can you show me one of your phones so I actually have an idea what it looks like?
Probably. Let me just pull it up here.
Dude.
You like that? Yeah. Sorry. I'm
That's
getting
your
texted.
NFT?
Yeah. So we're
No
again
wonder you
we're
guys sold out in a day.
yeah we're a game publishing company, right? So we work with third-party studios, and we cut them checks. Okay, we finance their projects, and for that check, we get the rights to sell their game, and usually 50% of the revenue.
15?
50. It's pretty standard. Like
Yep.
EA, you know, all the big game publishers, they do the same thing. So Lamo is actually a separate company. Okay, we're the publishing company. Think of us like a record label or a book publisher, kind of the same idea, right? So we have other projects that we're going to be announcing soon. Everybody in my company has long 15, 20-year backgrounds in AAA gaming.
Yep.
One guy has been at Pixar for the last 15 years. So we have a team that's got deep roots in the entertainment industry. Lamo's the first project. And what's exciting about Lamo is that it's more than just a game. So there's an AR app that's going to be available in like 2 months. And you scan the character with your phone, and it wakes up this entire AR experience that we call a reward parade, which is really cool. You can actually redeem your NFT for a physical vinyl of the character. So if you want to have a physical vinyl and create a collection of these characters, you can do that. And then having the NFT unlocks the character inside of the video game so that you can actually play the game.
So nobody can play the game, or they can play it, but with, you know,
It'll be like a
generic
less, maybe not generic, but like less interesting. Like most video games, when you start out, your character's not as interesting.
Yeah.
But you want to, like in Counter-Strike, for instance, you get like skins for your guns and stuff like that. So these, you think of these almost like skins, right?
Yeah.
And then of course there's other benefits of holding Lamos. So we did our first like paid drop 2 weeks ago. It sold out in like a day. And then on Halloween, everybody who was holding a Lamo got a free Halloween Lamo, which was pretty sweet. Like everybody was really excited about that.
Yeah, dude, that is awesome, man.
Yeah, so it's been really fun. Do you want me to keep holding this up?
No, you're good. No,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really fun, and we have other games that we're onboarding into our publishing model.
Yep.
And we have our own marketplace. So we think of our marketplace kind of like Steam, right? Or Origin from EA. And this is where we sell the in-game items and the video games themselves. It's all Web3. And we have a Steam point. Okay, do you know what Steam points are?
You can redeem them for credits or games or...
Yes, and that is our token.
That is awesome.
Right. So
man.
we raised a little over $3 million, which was led by Animoca, and that is the token that they invested in. And other investors, CMS, CryptoDog, Engine, Polybius Capital. There's a bunch of guys in there. A lot of good
Dude,
dudes.
congratulations. And you started this one?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So I started the company actually in January. And I wasn't thinking about crypto. Now I've personally been in crypto for a long time, a bunch of different cryptocurrencies and participated in ICOs and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But initially our focus was, let's make a company where really the sole focus is really high quality IP, intellectual property.
Mm-hmm.
And I recruited my friend Mark C. Harris. He's an Oscar nominated Pixar director. He co-directed Borrowed Time in 2017, which was a Pixar short.
Yeah.
And they got the Oscar nomination for that. And what's happened, so I'm about 40 years old now.
Yep.
A lot of my friends are the same age. And a lot of us have worked our way up into our careers where if you work at a company like Electronic Arts, or if you work at a company like Pixar, you maybe have the talent and the skill and the expertise to be the director of a movie or to run a game project. Mm-hmm. But one of the reasons people still can't do that is because you have an incumbency of talent on top of you, right? And if they're still there, why would the company take a risk with you even though you've kind of arrived?
Yep.
So we find people like Mark who are at that stage in their careers and we fund their projects. We become the business arm of their project. They want to understand, how do I publish my game? Am I going to put it on Xbox or Steam, or is this going to be now a play to earn game, or am I going to have NFTs in it? So we initially started this company, that was the sole focus. It was 100% about really high quality IP. A couple of my friends reached out to me. One of them's Sobi Life on Twitter,
Yep.
who's a really well-known NFT collector and influencer. He's actually here with me running around somewhere.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I told him, I was like, he just woke up. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I told him you should come, but I don't think he's gonna make it. But in any event, they were like, we need to do NFTs. And I was like, this is awesome. We should pull this into our business model because it's a fantastic way, finally, for artists to monetize their work and to make money. And people like Mark Harris to really be able to show off what it is that they're doing and get people engaged and get people involved. So we adopted this, everything became Web3, everything became NFTs and everything that we're doing. So IP is still really important. We only work with the highest quality projects, right? Like as you can see, Lamo looks amazing.
That blew my mind. I was not expecting that at all.
I didn't know. I thought maybe you looked before I came.
No, I try not to because then it makes the interviews come off as more like from like a first person. I've never heard of your project type of deal. So I try not to.
Yeah.
And then there's also, I get like 20 people and I've only heard from 5, so I don't want to dive too deep and then be out of time, So.
No, I get you. Yeah, no. In addition to games, like 90% of what we do will be video games, but we've been in the industry a long time. So when you're in the game industry, there's different segments of entertainment that you get pulled into. An example is if I make a game, I want to make a really amazing trailer or cinematic to promote the game, right? 100%. Like you've seen a lot of that over the years. So inevitably you end up having connections with really great production studios who make that kind of content. So we had one that reached out to us recently that we're working with that wants to do a whole line of NFTs and make a TV show about it. And we've pulled in some really interesting people who have worked on really amazing projects with like celebrities and stuff. And that project, we haven't announced it yet. We'll probably announce it later this week, but it's amazing. Like it looks fantastic. It's not a game. It's likely to become like an animated TV series, and it's going to be a PFP project. So basically the way it'll work is you'll buy your PFP through our drop, and then that gives you a seat in basically to vote, right? So now that you have the PFP,
What's
you can
PFP?
Profile picture.
Okay.
Yeah, so like CryptoPunks and all that stuff. So if you own one of our NFTs in our PFP drop, you get to vote once a month on which one of those PFPs gets to be in the next series, the next episode, right? And of course, if it's yours, that's awesome because then yours gets lifted up out of the group, and everybody wants the one that's in the next series.
That is genius. When you guys announce that, if you don't have another slot, reach out. I would love to bring you guys on the show to promote that launch of that.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. So we've been working on that as well, and it looks amazing. So think almost like Rick and Morty, or any of those shows like Family Guy or whatever. it's like TV, sort of like adult humor, primetime TV show. And the separate from my co-founder Mark, the studio that's animating that is also Oscar nominated for a whole different deal. And the animation and art looks fantastic. It's 2D and it's comedy, but it's amazing. It's like really, really good stuff. So we're excited about that project that we just wanted to get through this conference and then we're gonna announce it.
And you guys are located in Cali then, I assume, right?
Yeah, well, sort of, yeah. I guess officially we're in Berkeley. I live in the East Bay in a place called Moraga.
Okay, so you do live in California though.
Yeah.
Guys, so that's by the way you were talking with all those resources and studios, I assume that's...
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've been in California for 20 years.
I still can't wrap my head around where you guys are. Like I saw the game, like NFT, right? Like that. I never thought of going towards TV series. I don't even know if I've heard of anybody talking about it yet.
I haven't yet, but maybe I've missed it. There's so much coming. So Quentin Tarantino, did you read about him releasing deleted scenes from Pulp Fiction that no one has ever seen before as NFTs? That was announced today, which is pretty sick.
That is so cool, man.
Yeah. It's super exciting.
You guys are onto something with the...
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched, I don't know what company was doing it, but they had like an Oculus headset, right?
Yeah.
And it took you into a 3D world, like a metaverse, right? And it was like Jurassic Park, but your kids put it on. They go in the back seat of their car while the parents are driving. When the parents take a right turn, the car turns, and you go from just going forward, flying with pterodactyls, to go right. Now they're in a buggy. And they're going through the jungle, and the kids are like ducking, and then
my wife works at Oculus too.
Really?
Yeah.
And the kids were reaching out. Almost, it was like a Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
So like the game is the headset that you're wearing, and I was like, dude, this is like we are on the forefront. Like people that think crypto's not going to replace everything, it's like
it is for sure now.
There's no stopping it now.
You know, I remember the 90s. I was a teenager in the 90s, and I remember the internet was a new thing.
Yep.
And I didn't know this at the time, but I look back now, and Bill Gates wrote an essay in 1996 called "Content is King." And what he meant is that if you have the most amazing content, if you have the best content, you're going to win the internet. Mm-hmm. I've watched crypto go through all of its growing pains, for the last 12 years or however long it's been. And I think this is a major turning point because basically the media is here now. The content is here now, right? Yep. And as the content comes to find its home on Web3, on blockchains, on NFTs, the growth is just going to absolutely explode.
100%.
Yeah.
And people are not trusting the regular media anymore. Like I'm not waiting for the media to put out a thing saying, should I buy Bitcoin? Because I don't know, I don't trust them, right?
Yeah,
I'm going right to the web now, right to YouTube.
Yeah, no one's going to listen to Jim Cramer or whatever.
No, exactly, right? And that's the funny part is like where people aren't, like the media doesn't have their power, and what they're doing with the power that they have left, they're just making it even worse for themselves, right? Like it's funny to see that shift where it's like, okay, you guys had the power. Well, we don't need your US dollar anymore.
Yeah.
Like when you want to make that printer go burr.
And they don't even, so they set things up in a way where it's really hard to understand what a stock is or how to buy a stock.
100%.
Like if you're young and you're just getting into it, you're like, this seems really boring, really complicated, really risky. I don't know if I want to do this. But if you look at NFT drops, you're like, that's a pretty picture. It's cool. It's about culture.
Yep.
It's about the vibe, right? And if you find your vibe and you find the right community that you want to be a part of, that's what it is that you're buying into. You're buying into the ability to just like be a part of your tribe, right? And I think that there's really nothing to learn. It's innate to human nature. Mm-hmm. And they don't understand that because they're looking from their perspective, the old media or the old guard or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. And they're like, we understand this really complicated mess that we made, and we can't understand why you guys would want to buy, silly pictures or whatever. Yep. And it's like, well, now you're going to fall behind.
100%.
Yeah.
That's the crypto vortex.
Yeah. Obviously people have heard all the cliches at this point, like, why are you buying JPEGs? Like literally anybody can make a copy of it. And I think they're missing a couple of points. Anybody can make a copy of the Mona Lisa and hang it on their wall. It doesn't change the fact that the original is worth the money. Mm-hmm. And I think even with the Mona Lisa, I used to collect comic books, right? Like we used to get these seals of authenticity on the signed ones. And if it didn't have the seal, like if you take it to an appraiser, they're like, it's worth less. That could be a forged signature. Yep. So I think the mental model is not even really that different. It's kind of the same idea of what we deal with in the real world. And I think the way, so my buddy Sobi, he's my co-founder, Sobi from Twitter at Sobi Life, I think is his handle. I've been taken in this whole new world of like people that are collecting these things, and for them, I think it's a little bit like a Rolex.
It is.
Right. My LinkedIn picture is a cool cat. I bought the cool cat for like 2 ETH. Now I think it's literally worth like 60 ETH. Right? I have the TV head one, right? And that's my LinkedIn picture. And like, it's interesting because people will send me messages about it. And I immediately understand you're a part of my tribe. Like, you get the same things that I do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how all these guys are. They've kind of like pulled me into their world. And it's like a Rolex or it's like jewelry, right? People are like, why do you want that? It doesn't have any utility. It's like, what utility does an earring have?
Yeah, 100%.
Right? What utility does, if really the only thing you care about is utility, buy a Casio watch that's digital for $9.
Yep.
Don't buy the Rolex. There's literally no utility difference between them. So I totally get it. It makes sense. And I think especially obviously because of the pandemic, people are spending more and more time inside. And certainly have been for the last year and a half. And people are trying to bring that same thing from the meat space, basically,
Mm-hmm.
right, into the digital world where flashing your Rolex, my LinkedIn pictures were 60 ETH.
Yep.
Right. And it's the same thing you do when you wear the expensive watch at dinner. So I totally understand it. It completely makes sense. And I think it's not just about money either. Like if you think about video games like Fortnite, everybody works really hard to get the railgun. If I can take that railgun that I earned in Fortnite that took a lot of work and a lot of effort and bring it into non-native environments and show it off, even if it's not functional, like if I could wear it as a pin on my chest or a badge on my profile in Call of Duty, it tells people that I'm elite in another game,
Mm-hmm.
right? So all the interoperability, like it's surprising it hasn't happened before now.
Mm-hmm.
It seems almost like it's kind of too late, right? Like it should have happened like 5 or 10 years ago.
Yeah, but they're giving up that, then they're giving up their revenues.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're getting so much more because it's free advertising and like cross-platform advertising.
Sure.
They see that gun in Call of Duty, they're like, oh, cool, this dude's playing Call of Duty. He must be doing something cool in that game.
Well, you saw Ubisoft is like going head first into NFTs and blockchain, right? Ubisoft is a huge game company. I think they invested like $65 million into Animoca. And then they came out with an announcement, I think it was yesterday or the day before, that they're going to make blockchain games.
Dude, that's crazy, man.
I mean, in Facebook. Facebook
yeah,
isn't,
now the metaverse.
they're not the coolest company in the world, but like they're huge, right?
Yeah.
They're $1 trillion tech companies betting their future on
the metaverse.
On the metaverse, which is validation of everything that's happening in the space. Like this is real. It's not going to go away next year.
Yeah, their metaverse play, it almost seems like they're trying to be the Microsoft of the metaverse, if that makes sense. Like where it's like your conferences, your businesses, your enterprise, or like the Zoom of, and I was like, I saw it from that angle and I saw there like, what he was doing there. I was like, and that's just the start, right? They could spin that off and go in a bazillion different extra directions, but that makes like that net they're casting right there for like the Zooms, the businesses. I'm like, damn, that makes it super smart.
Yeah.
And like the whole gaming for the crypto world, for me, it's like you can be a trader, right?
Yeah.
You can be a hodler.
Yeah.
You can be in a gaming.
Yeah.
You can be in a DeFi.
Yeah.
Trying to be into all of them, it's too much for one YouTube channel, one
creator,
creator, right?
I can imagine.
So gaming,
there's so much happening in every space, right?
Yep. Gaming was the one where, and NFTs where I've lacked the most, and that's where I felt like, even if it's not necessarily going to help my channel, I want to be as educated as I can, and that's what brought me out here. It's because I don't know, and then every time I try to do research myself, I'm always like saying things wrong, and I'm like, all right, I'm done. I talk about a project, I'll tell people I don't know crap about it, and then I invite their team on the show.
Yeah.
And then it's like, dude, all right, cool. Because in 20 minutes of us talking, I probably learned more than if I would have researched your company for the last 3 days.
Yeah,
you know
of
what
course.
I'm saying? So it's so nice
just to chat.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I find it's like it's good for your company and your brand, and then So thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate your
absolutely.
Show, man. It's an
Thank
honor
you.
to have you. So
yeah,
we don't have to wrap it up, but thanks, man. I
yeah,
just
of course,
say thank
man.
You, man. So
yeah,
what is your what are some big projects that you also are into? Is there any other?
Oh man, I've been so busy. It's been hard to keep up. I think Parallel looks really interesting.
Parallel?
Yeah.
That's a new crypto, new NFT that's coming out?
Well, yeah, they have NFTs, and I think they also have a token that they're going to release.
Parallel?
Yeah, Parallel.
Okay.
I think one of the co-founders, or maybe a board member or something, is Chad Hurley.
Okay.
Who was one of the co-founders of YouTube back in the day.
Oh, no
yeah.
way.
Yeah, so I'm watching that project. It looks sick.
Parallel.
In regards to gaming, so just some more on my background. When I ran Signal Zero, it was from 2013 to 2019. And we had a platform where you as a user would log into an app and we'd have a list of games for you to play.
Yeah.
And if you play those games, we give you points. And if you got enough points, you could cash out for like $1
Yep.
or $2 or $5. You could get Bitcoin, you could get Amazon, you could get PayPal, whatever.
Yep.
So it's play to earn, basically, right? Old school play to earn. We had 60 million users on that platform, and we were driving massive volume. But the challenge that we ran into is that as soon as people find that there's economic incentives available in a thing online, they create bots, bot farms. Because they're like, look, if I play this game and I make $5 a day, I could make my computer pretend that there are 100 of me playing the game, and I can make $500 a day.
Wow.
And we had bot farms. A lot of it was coming from like Southeast Asia and stuff, right? And we had to get all this security. We worked with third-party security firms because the advertisers wanted real impressions. They wanted real people playing their games. That's what they were paying for. It was considered ad fraud if you didn't defend against it. All the play-to-earn stuff that's happening right now is really, it's interesting. I say that because from one perspective, it's really encouraging that there's people out there that have a new way to make money, right? The thing that's a little interesting for me, I think, is all of the play to earn that happened like in mobile and social gaming from like 2010 to like 2015, there was like a collapse. And the reason there was a collapse is because the industry started to realize, hey, this is all bots. This isn't real people playing our games. Like, we're not going to value this as highly as we would normally value like game revenue. There were game companies that were getting acquired at like 5x revenue, right? So if they were doing 100 million, they get acquired for like half $1 billion. And when that collapse happened, the value of those games just completely cratered. People were like, look, we'll give you 1x EBITDA, which is profit, right? So, you know, you might get 10 million for what was going for $500 million because it wasn't real, right? So a lot of the games that we're working with, again, it comes back to high value IP. The games that succeed in the long run are just like movies that succeed in the long run. It's about the IP. Like Pokemon is the most valuable media franchise that has ever existed because the value of the IP it's fun. It's really fun to play Pokemon, right? So we're looking at projects like Lamo, and of course, if it's an NFT, sure, there's some economic incentive there, but versus like hardcore, like grind it out to make a living games, like we want to see how it goes. We're a little bit wary of that because we don't want to experience the collapse that happened in social gaming.
Absolutely. So smart, man.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's wild, man. Good for you.
Yeah.
You can tell you know your stuff about it. So
thanks, man.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show, man. I can't wait to learn more about your story and your projects. And
cool.
I'd love to have you guys on and to promote for your launch.
Sure. Yeah.
That'd be sweet. I'm
awesome.
excited to hear about it, man.
Cool.
Thank you, buddy.
Yep.
What are your plans for the rest of the night?